Hello and welcome to Making Sense of AI. I want you to imagine having to manually sort through mounds of patient records, survey responses, and lab reports to organize them and identify patterns. Now, that probably sounds daunting and a little bit overwhelming to you, right? I know it does to me. So now picture having a digital partner that can sift through all that data in seconds, spot patterns you probably missed, and even suggest solutions. That is the promise of artificial intelligence, or what we commonly call AI. But what exactly does AI mean, and how do terms like machine learning, deep learning, large language models, and generative AI fit into the picture? Well, today I'm breaking it all down for you step by step. Hi, I'm Quisha Umemba. I am an AI literacy and workforce development expert, AI trainer, and your AI translator. I help you go from complexity to clarity when it comes to artificial intelligence. And I spend all my time reading, researching, and testing AI tools so you don't have to. I promise I'll break down the good, the bad, the great, and even the scary side of AI so you can make sense of where it fits in your life and your workplace and use it with confidence. Today, we're going to take the leap into artificial intelligence. LEAP, L-E-A-P, is our AI literacy training framework that we use at Umemba Health, and it stands for Learn, Explore, Analyze, and Practice. That is our roadmap for making AI less intimidating and more useful in the real world. I want you to think of LEAP as stepping stones, one clear step at a time, to help you feel confident about talking about AI, spotting how it shows up in your work, and practicing ways that you use it responsibly. So let's get started in today's lesson. Artificial intelligence, it's basically when computers are trained to be smart or designed to think and learn in ways that seem smart like humans. Instead of just following step-by-step directions, AI looks at information, it recognizes speech, it makes decisions or suggestions on its own, and it spots patterns. Now, regardless if you believe it or not, AI is already a part of the everyday tools you use, you just don't realize it. Here's an example. You've probably got autocorrect on your phone. So when you type a word, your phone makes an attempt at guessing what you mean and fixing that word. They think it's a mistake. Sometimes it is a mistake and it's great. And sometimes it's not a mistake and it autocorrects and gives you a word you weren't even thinking about. That's AI at work. Simple, fast, and most of the time helpful. And just as autocorrect makes texting smoother in most cases, AI in the workplace makes routine tasks easier in most cases if you know how to use it. So here are three main benefits of AI that I want you to remember. One, artificial intelligence saves time. It helps complete daily tasks faster, like checking grammar in an email. Okay. Two, it offers recommendations, everything from those personalized movie suggestions that you've noticed come up in your Netflix feed, sorry, to shopping ads in your Facebook feed. AI learns what you like and it makes smart guesses. And then AI also supports work and services in the workplace. Right now, we have many workplaces that are using AI, and that's for things like scheduling, data entry, training, even customer service. The list goes on and on. So here's some examples of daily or where you would see AI in daily life. So if you have a fitness app that tracks your steps and suggests workouts for you, that uses AI. If you are using tools that create meeting notes, suggest email replies, organize schedules, etc., that uses AI. If you use virtual assistants like Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa, I don't want to set her off, to set reminders for you, play music for you, answer questions for you, all of those use AI. And online stores even use AI to suggest products you might like based on past purchases. Think about Amazon. So here's what you should know. AI is a big umbrella term. It is a field of study and practice, just like medicine is a field of study, but it has many subspecialties, right? So there's pediatrics, there's cardiology, there's gastroenterology, etc. AI is the same way. It has its own specialties, machine learning, deep learning, large language models. That's where those other terms come in. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this training. Let's start with machine learning. Machine learning is one of AI's main specialties. It is a type of AI that allows computers to learn from data instead of being told exactly what to do. The more examples it sees, the better it gets at making predictions or decisions. So again, instead of giving the computer a set of strict instructions, we just continuously feed it data and let it find the patterns. For instance, if we want the computer to know the difference between cats and dogs, we don't write a rule for every possible ear shape or type of cat or type of dog or tail length. We just show it thousands of labeled pictures of cats and dogs, and the system over time learns to tell the difference on its own. Machine learning powers many tools that we already rely on, such as spam filters and email, voice recognition, even medical predictions. Now, in healthcare, computers can learn from thousands of medical scans or thousands of customer service questions. In public health, machine learning can be used to do things like predict flu outbreaks by analyzing search engine trends or identify patterns at the highest for those that are highest risk for developing conditions like diabetes. In the learning environment, which is where I work, machine learning can be used in training tools that adjust to each learner's needs. For example, if you have a learner that is struggling with a particular topic, the system can recommend extra practice, just like a tutor. So some examples of machine learning in daily life include spam filters that learn which emails are junk and which ones should be kept in your inbox. Your banking fraud detection system that alerts you when it spots unusual spending patterns, or calendar apps that suggest meeting times based on your past working behavior. Deep learning is more of an advanced form of machine learning. It uses artificial neural networks, which are loosely inspired by how our human brain works. Instead of just one or two layers of decision making, deep learning systems stack many layers on top of each other, allowing to detect very complex patterns. This is the technology that's behind things like voice recognition, image creation, and advanced chat tools. Imagine peeling an onion. Each layer reveals more detail, and that's the same way that deep learning works. The first layer might learn simple shapes like the edges of a photo. The next layer learns a bigger pattern. Oh, I spot eyes, I spot noses, right? Still doesn't have the clear picture yet. But the final layer is able to put it together and recognize, oh, this is a face that I'm looking at. That's how, again, the image creation works on your phone, or the face recognition, rather, that unlocks your phone. Deep learning is especially good at learning from huge amounts of data. So again, things like photos, videos, or text documents. So aside from that face recognition that unlocks your phone, other examples are voice assistants that we've talked about that understand spoken questions, computers that can read x-rays, self-driving cars, because self-driving cars have been trained to recognize things like stop signs and people walking and other cars on the road. So when we apply this to healthcare, think about healthcare image recognition, where a computer can identify tumors in medical scans, or natural language processing, where a computer understands and responds to human speech. I bet you've got a few apps on your phone that actually respond to human speech. Next, we're going to talk about large language models, or LLMs, which I tend to get tongue-tied on, but these are a type of AI that's built on deep learning. They're trained on enormous amounts of text, from books to articles to websites, and their specialty is working with human language, predicting the next word in a sentence, answering questions, summarizing long reports, even drafting emails. So if you've used tools like ChatGPT or other conversational AI systems, you've already interacted with an LLM. Okay, going back to your phone, think about your phone's text suggestion feature. If you type "see you" to someone, it may suggest the word later. That is word prediction. LLMs do the same thing, just on a much larger scale and using billions of examples. Key features of LLMs are word prediction and human-like conversation. And so they support things like writing help. Again, tools like ChatGPT, or one of my favorites, Grammarly, can suggest clearer ways to write. You've got customer service chatbots that answer questions about a particular product or service. In education, you may have a virtual tutor that helps explain math, science, or health topics in simple language. And in the workplace, this is things like drafting emails, creating reports, summarizing meetings, etc. In public health, these models can help professionals summarize patient interviews, draft outreach materials, or translate complex medical terms into plain language. Now, for the fun stuff, generative AI takes things a step further. And instead of analyzing existing data, Gen AI, as it's sometimes referred, creates new content, new texts, new images, new audio, new video, new songs, new tasks. It creates. It uses patterns it has learned to generate something original. For example, it could write a health education script. It could design an infographic. It can simulate patient scenarios for training, which are my personal favorite. But here's the catch. Generative AI doesn't truly know what it's saying. It's predicting what should come next based on patterns. That's why human review is always critical, especially in fields like healthcare, public health, where accuracy can impact real lives. So here's something you should remember. Generative AI helps humans be creative. It works as a partner. It helps you brainstorm and design and create faster, but it doesn't replace you. Okay. I want you to think of generative AI like a recipe book. You pick the ingredients, your prompt, which we'll learn about later in the series, and the book gives you a dish, the AI's output. So generative AI is like a recipe. It adapts to whatever you ask, whether you're asking it to write a paragraph or design a flyer or even draft a training plan. At Umemba Health, we use generative AI to create lesson plans, to write sample case studies, to even create visuals for training, many of which you have seen in this video. We will be, again, reviewing the different types of generative AI later in the series. I'm even going to do some deep dive demonstrations. So I want you to stay tuned to learn more. Now, we're going to pivot. We have learned about artificial intelligence. We have explored the different types of artificial intelligence. Now, we're going to pivot to analyze. That's the third step in the LEAP framework. This is when we look closely at AI outputs to judge their accuracy, their fairness, and their usefulness. And it's when we ask the question, does this answer even make sense and can I trust it? So here's some key points about this particular step, which is crucially important, right? Fact check first. Don't always assume that AI is right. Verify details with trusted sources. Second, look for bias. Notice if the answer is leaving out certain groups or perspectives or important details. Decide on the value. Ask if the AI response is even actually helpful for the task that you need it to do. Think about grading a student's homework. You don't just accept the answers, right? You check them for accuracy, for completeness, and for quality. And so when you analyze AI outputs, it works the same way. If you're going to use AI, responsible use requires you to slow down and analyze the output before you use any AI generated material. For example, if you're drafting a health lesson for a diverse community, it needs to be checked for accuracy, for correct facts, and inclusive examples before sharing it, because it is, after all, for a diverse community. So here's some everyday ways to analyze AI. Double checking numbers in an AI generated report, comparing an AI answer with information from a trusted website, asking, does this output include stereotypes or biased examples, and testing to see if AI suggestion actually solves your problems. The last step of the LEAP framework is practice. Now, at Umemba Health, we build AI skills by applying these ideas to quick scenarios until they become second nature. You've heard the term before, practice makes perfect. It's no different with AI. If you use it consistently, it becomes less overwhelming and more natural. So each time you practice, you discover what works well and what doesn't. You build fluency through each repetition, which makes you faster at spotting the type of AI, asking the right questions, and keeping decisions human-centered. So I want to go back to that recipe analogy. Think about what it's like to learn to cook a new recipe. The first time, you feel unsure. You need the instructions. I know for me, I'm constantly looking at the instructions to make sure that I'm cooking the recipe correctly. But after a few times of practicing that dish, it becomes easier. And eventually, I'm adding my own twist to it, or I'm taking things out and adding other ingredients. Practicing AI works the same way. So, how can you practice building your AI skills? Use AI weekly, if not daily, to brainstorm ideas for your projects, for lessons, etc. Ask AI to create drafts for you and then edit them in your own voice. Practice writing clear prompts and compare the results. And try using AI for small scale projects like email replies and bigger projects like reports or even responding to grants and RFP opportunities. Artificial intelligence, it may sound intimidating. I know it does, but it does not have to be. When you break down the key terms that we've talked about today, machine learning, deep learning, large language models, and even generative AI, you turn that tech buzzword soup into something clear and usable. And for most professionals, the goal is not for you to become an AI engineer. I know it's not for me. It's simply to understand enough about AI tools to use them wisely, ask good questions, and keep the human-centered mission at the forefront. Remember, the goal is always AI-powered learning, human-centered results. So as I wrap up this session today, I want you to remember AI is a tool, not a replacement. It can save time, reduce overwhelm, and support better decisions, but human expertise is essential. Two, I want you to strive to understand the basics. Knowing the difference between machine learning, deep learning, LLMs, and Gen AI will help you ask the right questions when evaluating new tools. And third, practice AI responsibly. AI can be a powerful tool in healthcare and in public health, but things like bias, privacy, and accuracy must always be considered. Now, next time you hear about a new AI tool, try categorizing it. Is it machine learning? Is it deep learning? Is it an LLM? Is it generative AI? Practicing this will sharpen your understanding and keep you confident in conversations about AI technology. Want to learn more? Learn AI at Umemba Health by visiting our website. That's umembahealth.com. And follow me for more AI trends, tips, tools, and real-world examples that will keep you informed and future ready. I'll see you in the next video.